Hi, my name's Brooke. I'm the Environmental Health and Waste Education Officer at Holroyd City Council, and I'm here to talk about the development of our app and community cookbook called Love Your Leftovers. While I'm mainly talking about the app, I guess it's important to note that it all started with the development of our cookbook, which is right here. We committed to the Love Food Hate Waste project in 2010, and we sought WASEP funding to develop the cookbook. The idea was that we thought there would be a lot of senior residents within the community who would have awesome ideas about how their mums and their grandmothers before them, and maybe grandfathers, sought to reduce food waste. Nothing was ever wasted back then, and the target audience for this project was pretty much young people in the community. So we thought it could be a really good opportunity for the senior residents to share their wisdom. And it became this cookbook, which was launched in December 2011. Pretty much in the timeline of my life, this book represents 2011. It took that and growing my son, but I think this was harder. All the recipes in the book I had to cook myself, take photos of. There are some very strategically cropped, because I'm not a chef. Little burnt bits of strategically being cut out of photos and things like that. And I had shocking morning sickness, and to this day there are some photos I still can't look at. Because it just... stacks of spaghetti is one, and I'm sure it's lovely, but I can't bring myself to look at it. So basically, we finished the book, and I said I think it'd be awesome to turn it into a digital version somehow. And then I dumped that on them and went on maternity leave for a year. When I got back in March this year, the app was probably maybe 3/4 done, and a lot of it was done with the designer at that point. Pretty much the app just features all the recipes that are in the cookbook. But what we wanted to change, we wanted people to be able to add recipes, so it was evolving. You search by leftover ingredient, ability to share, and for now it's a free download from the App Store. It's only available at the moment for Apple phones, but we're working on that. We also developed a supporting website, Love Your Leftovers, which is why I brought these things with me. If people were wondering what they were, there's a pen. And these have our website on them. You can order the cookbook, and you can also download the app by going to that website, or you can just go to the App Store. And the idea was you sit your iPad in it on the kitchen bench, so when you spill something it doesn't get ruined. So that was the idea behind that. That's our beloved icon that you'll see on the App Store for the Love Your Leftovers app. There's a lot of debate. Someone didn't like the love heart, someone loved the love heart, didn't want knives and forks, anyway, that's what we ended up with. That's just a screen grab when you bring the app up on an iPad. That's the main page. You type in whatever leftover ingredient you have, and it brings up the recipes within the app that can use that leftover ingredient. We've also got in the app all the info bites that are in the cookbook, so explaining things like use by date, best before, so people know when they should and really shouldn't dispose of food that they have. There's heaps of information about how to best store your food, all sorts of different veggies especially, and fruits, so that you keep them fresher for longer. All of that was managed to be included in the app as well. That's another screen grab. The only thing I don't like about that is the ones where there isn't a photo. It's pretty easy to hide in a cookbook. Not everyone needs a photo, but on the app I think it would look better if they did. The problem with that is I have to cook them, so I see that and see what I still have to do. But I can include those as we go along. And actually, just looking at that screen grab reminds me, if you actually wouldn't want to use this in a healthy living project, because some of the recipes from the lovely old ladies in our community, one I'm looking at on that page, it's actually not a carrot cake. This was actually from before, sorry, it doesn't have the right recipes under the photos. But the one with a carrot cake and a love heart uses 1 pound of butter and 1 pound of chocolate and lots of broken biscuits. So she loved it, and it tasted, as my granddad would have said, tasted bloody beautiful, but you wouldn't use it in a healthy living project. Again, that's just another example of how it appears when you pull the recipe up within the app on your iPad. The main challenge that we faced in doing the app was mostly of a technical nature. Dealing with the community, the lovely old ladies we were working with was brilliant, but we worked with some local scouts too, but the technical stuff was just did our heads in because we're not that way inclined. However, now that it's done, yeah, it was worth it, well and truly. We launched the app. It was approved by Apple on the 4th of June. We launched it in June. We were featured on the App Store there in the food spotting section. And they've just contacted us recently as well for some more info because they're looking to do, they might use it in another feature that they have. From the 4th of June to 12th of July, it's been downloaded 3,610 times. And there's some of the countries where it has been downloaded the most. And what bothers me about that is it took us a year to offload about 1,000 of these books, and in about how many? 5-6 weeks. Yeah, the same information was conveyed to a much larger audience in about a 6-week period of time. And that's just, there's the little stand in action, you can see. That's what it was for. We had some lunch boxes done with the app icon. We sent those around our office as well as a bit of a Love Food, Hate Waste initiative, encouraging people to store leftovers rather than turf them. And where to from here? We're continuing promotion of the app, and we have to maintain the app. I've got more cooking to do still. We're going to seek further funding to develop an Android version because we've already had a lot of requests for why it's not available in an Android version. And we're thinking of going back out to the more senior, I say that because I don't, you know, it just sounds a bit nicer, the more senior residents in our community for a second round of, I think when we approached them the first time they were wondering what on earth was going to happen, but I think now they understand it, might like to get involved again. So that's where we're thinking of going. Thank you.